This time of year, most people are suffering from depression because of the holidays.
Right. Yes.
What have you seen and experienced as of late? What are the since again I have no empathy or sympathy really. What are some of the issues that people are struggling with right now?
Well, what I hear is people, even though they've got a couple years under the belt, they're still abandoned by their family, and that hurts them. Meanwhile, I went to a great Christmas party at one of the local clubs here. It was, I didn't eat. Everybody else did, but it looked like everybody was having a good time, and it was early. Everybody was gone by 8 p.m.
Albano Club food?
Well, it was a potluck.
Right.
Yeah.
So there were casseroles. I like casseroles.
Yeah, there's a lot of casseroles, some lasagna, and I have a lot of food allergies, so I wasn't really sure what was in anything.
You do. You have quite a few.
Yeah. So, I stuck with the brownies.
So those could have been spiked.
They could have been.
Which would have been very amusing if they were.
They probably were. It was probably a free lapse. I don't even know.
That was a movie, wasn't it? Didn't somebody do that in a movie or a TV show where they spiked the brownies?
They do it everywhere now.
I always struggle this time of year. Like, the amount of generosity that most people have seems to be exponentially greater, and the depression people suffer seems to be exponentially greater as well. And is it strictly because of family?
I think so. I think you talk to anybody, there's something traumatic that happened around the holidays. At best, this tremendous disappointment. And I think that just being that time of year just triggers those feelings.
What does it do for you specifically? Do you feel more generosity this time of year?
Well, I never liked the holidays because my birthday was 6 days before Christmas.
You got fucked on the gifts. I get that. Always, I totally get that.
Always, and we celebrated Hanukkah and Christmas. And I always got
that. That is real shafty. That's a lot of days of pants and socks.
No socks. No, actually, my parents got smart as I got to like 7 or 8 or 9. The gifts were getting intermingled, so I get one big gift instead of I got an air hockey table one year instead of Hanukkah, Christmas, and birthday.
I don't know why the holidays just seem to make me angrier. I seem to be...
Well, you're a marketing guy, so you see... this is the time that everybody tries to milk the cow. Is that really
what it is? Have I just fully gone into the other direction where everything that I see is just... I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
God, that makes me such a cynic. Because that's what Diana said the other day about Lori doing this really raw video about Houston's very brave video about being sad about going to a Christmas party because she's divorced and it's the first time going by herself.
Do you watch football for the commercials?
No, I record and watch after the game so I can fast forward through the... Yeah, no, and I can't even know the outcome of a game and be able to watch the game.
Oh. Yeah.
I got all kinds of weird...
Fortunately, I have financial interests in the outcome of the game, and I like to watch. But sometimes I fall asleep.
I'm with you. And I've tied it all to food, which is not a healthy thing. I just started a diet again because I'm thinking of competing. Yeah, and I don't ever do well on a lack of food. What have we learned?
What have we learned? We learned that the holidays suck.
I don't know if they suck.
Well, sometimes they do. For a lot of people, they do.
And that's what I guess I'm trying to get at. I don't get why they suck for people.
How do you get excited? If you're in recovery, how do you get excited for New Year's Eve? I mean, when you lived a lifestyle that every night was Saturday night and Saturday night was New Year's Eve, how do you get up for New Year's Eve?
Okay, I'll tell you how. You buy yourself a ticket to go see De:preSH get drunk on stage and tell jokes, and you sit there and you laugh your ass off.
Who's De:preSH? Is he on CBD for depression?
He likes Tito's and soda. I'm sure he'll be plenty drunk by midnight on New Year's Eve. I personally, I guess because that's the one thing I conquered early on in my sobriety, which was I'm not going to lose fun in the process. Like, people...
I might go to an Al-Anon meeting on New Year's this year.
Well, I might
go to that alcohol.
While you're on the Al-Anon topic, as you well know, a friend of ours had a son die recently from addiction.
Yes.
Heroin addiction, I might add. And it was while they were in the middle of they were in the middle of the "we're not going to talk to you" phase. You're so far gone, you're outside the circle. Tough love part, love. Right? He goes to Al-Anon. The other son is in AA, does really well. He's very programmed. In fact, when he went up at the eulogy or whatever they called that crazy thing with a bunch of people with tattoos, he actually gave... His program is so good, he did what my sponsor would have had me do. He went up and gave a message of recovery. If you're in here and you need to talk to somebody right now, I'm here, kind of thing. Like, he stepped up. He ponied up. And I was so proud of him, and it made me think of my early days when I actually cared about other people in recovery.
Right.
But the amusing part, because here's why. I really don't like Al-Anon people at all. Because they're so pious. I don't know what it is about Al-Anon that fucks people up so bad. Like, and don't get me wrong, there are good people in Al-Anon, there's good people in AA. Everybody calm down and don't, back away from whatever you're typing. Tell your sponsor about it instead. But when it comes to Al-Anon, there's always her. The I didn't cause this, her type person, mom, who's got her black belt in Al-Anon. So right after our friend spoke, I believe his Al-Anon sponsor went up and spoke. And trying to relate to the room. And, you just sounded like such a great guy. And like everything, everything dripped with insincerity. Like I just saw through her whole Al-Anon bullshit thing. And it made me so angry at her. Mainly because I'm such good friends with the person who was going through this, right? We've been working together and been friends for many years now. It was difficult to see him struggle. I mean, losing a child is the worst possible thing I can imagine. And, that whole Al-Anon thing. We didn't cause this. He didn't cause this. He made a choice. Okay. Thanks, that's really helpful. At this particular moment, this is not an Al-Anon meeting. This is not the place for that message. These are like surrounded by friends and family. That's not the message you want to go with. Like, I feel like her speechwriter needed a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough room. Yeah, that was a tough one for me. And all I kept thinking, because David was so upset, and I listened to everything he tried and did, and, and they've set up the memoriams and everything they're doing, right, for the... I wanted to go up and give him a hug, and I really wanted to tell him, I wish you were my dad. I wish my dad tried that hard. Like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. I mean, he can see it probably in his son, but he doesn't know. And I get that. And I realized after I had talked to Diana when I got home about it, she said, "You're making it about you." I said, "Really? Am I? I don't, Does he really know that he did do everything? And that it really is that significant? Sometimes the disease does win. The addiction wins. And it wins more than people survive it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I look at friends of mine where, they've got cancer and they're getting surgeries and technology has come so far. Cancer's not a death threat anymore. Like, it's a totally beatable thing now on a consistent basis if you catch it early enough.
Right.
They got nothing.
HIV, same thing.
For us. They've got nothing. They got nothing for addiction. Nothing. There is no medical advancement.
I disagree.
Really? Is there a pill I'm unaware of that'll allow me to drink like a gentleman?
I think we're all unaware of it.
So from a...
Well, let's do a different episode on conspiracy theories.
There's no money in it. I'll go back to being a cynic. So I was downright getting emotional over David there.
Right. I know.
Yeah. It's been, for the last couple of weeks, I've seen people that I'm close to struggling with a lot and putting a lot out there. Even a couple hundred people, business and friends alike, putting it out there that your son was lost to heroin that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
That's serious program on his part. Like, to be able to not make it a private thing, you're actually going to do an actual memorial and actually put it all the way out there and see what happens.
Well, he feels if it saves one person.
Well, and that goes back to the Brian doing the movie, right? If it helps somebody with addiction,
right? It helps one person.
We win.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way. Why am I so selfish?
I don't know. Good question.
Isn't the program supposed to be selfish?
Well, it's a selfish program, but people in the program aren't supposed to be selfish. They're supposed to be selfish about their recovery, but they can only keep what they have by giving it away.
Well, I thoroughly know nobody wants what I have, so that's a plus.
I don't know. There's people that want what you have.
I think they want to be where I am. I don't know if they necessarily want... Look, all the shit that made me drink and use is still here. All the...
Right. Just makes you do something else.
On the scale, depression, Asperger, like all the shit that's wrong with my brain that made me want to take stuff so I don't have to be myself is still here. Trust me, at 3 o'clock this morning, I had to take my mom to surgery at 4 a.m. this morning. And so I obsessed when I went to bed at midnight, right? Couldn't go to sleep, right?
You got
so typical addict mind, I obsessed and I obsessed and I obsessed and got into a weird little Touretted loop in my brain that I couldn't get out of, so I didn't get any sleep. And, yeah, if I, the old days... Go in, have a couple of drinks, take the bite off of it, put yourself down. I don't get that option.
Yeah.
I gotta work through that. I gotta just tough out the situation. Am I making any sense?
A little bit.
Have we learned anything?
A little. I don't know about that.
Are we more relatable in this episode?
I would hope so. I don't know. I see. I don't think people have a tough time relating to me today.
Yeah, but you show up. You are in the minority. Well, no, I shouldn't say in the minority. You are a fundamental believer in, right, showing up. Even if you have time, that's enough for people with less time.
Right. Well, I also believe in the fellowship. See, you